Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the collective for November 2022. And then we're going to break it down for each life path number. We're also going to take a look at the illuminations, the full moon, the new moon that's occurring throughout November, including the major eclipse that we have at the beginning of the month. We're going to break that down for your individual life path number as we move through the reading. Before we get into it, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personal reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I will be getting out the 2023 year ahead forecast for each life path number sometime in November. But this is a great time it's a good time anytime, but it's a great time at the end of the year as we're gearing up to start a new cycle, a new year, to get your own personal year ahead forecast. If that's something that you're interested in, that will dial it down into your own personal numerology chart and the cycles that you'll be moving throughout 2023. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can book some time with me on my website and we can take a look. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So November is a 17-8 universal cycle. So for some people, you may see things come to fruition or rewards come in for things that you may have began back in December 2022 or December 2021 or January 2022. So if there's some things that, if you can kind of look back to that time frame and see if there was anything significant that transpired in your life, whether it was some kind of closure, whether it was some kind of new beginning, it's a new inspiration, whatever, and it could be something that you've been sort of working on throughout the year, you may see things or new insights come to fruition at this time that tie back to that period. For some, you may see things surface for you around those same similar themes that came up for you back then that either can be repaired at this time and built upon, or because we also have some very strong eclipses in November, or a strong eclipse in November, right? So things that resurface now may need to be dealt with and closed out more permanently. So I kind of see this as it's possible that someone or something may resurface that's sort of tied back to December 2021 or January 2022, that now you're able to get some solid closure on and sort of move forward from holistically. So emotionally, physically, whatever. That's very, very possible. And you may see that come in very, very strongly around this eclipse that's happening November 8th. Okay, so the energy of the 17-8 is going to really ask us to be very truthful, both with ourselves and with others at this time. So where are we maybe self-sabotaging ourselves or overindulging ourselves? Where can we move closer to our true alignment that's not based on fear or desire? So neither of those extremes, but rather integrity, confidence, and our inner inner knowing. So where have we sort of avoided having the difficult conversations with others because we didn't want to maybe rock the boat, even though by not doing so, we were creating unnecessary inner turmoil, right? So it's like we wanted to save or spare the feelings, the emotions of that other person, but in doing so, it created a storm within us. And so this energy is going to ask us to be very honest with ourselves about where in life we show up in that way and where we need to potentially respond or take action in a different way in order to get different results. Because the truth will always rise to the surface, right? One way or another. So, and it can be incredibly uncomfortable when it does that, because we know what the truth is, we know what our truth is, but a lot of times we'll suppress that again to accommodate or to be in service to other people, right? To not rock the boat. This energy can feel very raw. It can feel very much like sort of digging at a wound that is trying to heal, but can't heal because we keep digging at it, right? And so it's that kind of energy where it's like the truth is going to come to the surface, and it's going to keep coming to the surface until sort of we deal with it, we clean it up, and we allow it to heal in an appropriate way, and then we move forward in a way that's more truthful for ourselves, right? So again, this can feel like very raw. This can feel very like sensitive energy, very emotional energy. But it's ultimately working to get us to our own truth, right? Our own autonomy, and to be able to show up in that way, even if others don't understand, even if others find offense to it, or, are turned off by it because they're not getting what they want out of the situation any longer. We have to get to a point to be, to be most in alignment with our own energies and our own journey. We have to sort of follow our own truth, right? And that truth is never going to physically harm someone or intentionally harm someone, because it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's about ourselves, right? So this energy is kind of getting to that core, getting to the truth of the matter. And I would also say that with this energy, if there's anything that's sort of been hidden behind the scenes, done in secret, that has a potential to come to the surface now as well. So if you have been doing something behind someone's back, or again, in secrecy, and there's not a lot of integrity behind it, maybe, right? Like, this isn't a moral judgment, you do you, but just know that this energy will sort of bring out the truth of a situation, so that it can be dealt with, right? Because if, let's just say, for example, you're having an affair, it's not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the action, like you doing what you want to do with that other person. The harm is in doing it behind another person's back type thing without full disclosure, right? So it's like, you know what I'm trying to get at. It's like, you can be with whoever you want to be with, but if that process is harming another intentionally, right, or you're aware of it, chances are that's going to come to the surface, so that what's best for the highest good of all can come to the surface and be dealt with. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this energy is not about moral judgment. It's just about bringing things to light, bringing things out in the open, so that all parties can move forward in a way that's most healthy for all involved. So again, 17.8, the truth is always going to rise to the surface one way or another. And this energy simply asks us to be the one to bring it up and to honor it with ourselves and with our interactions with others. So this energy can bring up a lot of self-doubt as well. Irrational fears and superficial irritants can come to the surface now to help us to sort of delve much deeper into the true I am within. So throughout November, before we get into Sagittarius season, we're in the sort of depths of Scorpio season. And so this is all very much Scorpionic energy, right? Or I would say in numerology, it could be seen as like 13.4 energy, where things are like really being, there's a deep dive, things are coming to the surface to be worked through, the truth is coming to light. There's a lot of emotional, deep psyche excavations, right? And so again, it can feel raw, it can feel highly sensitive, it can feel emotional as we move through it. And as we, again, delve much deeper into the truth of who we are, at the true I am from within. So this energy helps to sort of lift the veil of illusion and clear the cobwebs so that we're able to see much more clearly what is or what feels true for us, and what sort of is more made up stories by the ego to protect us from something that we don't need protection from, but rather we're meant to explore. The ego is a really good trickster in that it will sort of create stories in the sort of guise of protection, but in reality, it's putting up a wall because we don't want to feel what we're meant to feel and explore what we're meant to explore in those inner depths. So the energy of the 17-8 can bring about more sort of mental vitality and sort of open a channel to the unconscious to help us to solve problems that we've been working through. And more than likely, those solutions will sort of call us to move outside of our perceived comfort zone, further into unknown territory. And it's through that exploration that we will, of course, then become more familiar with that new landscape, right, of ourselves. So this is very scorpionic energy. Like this is very 13-4 energy. This is very much about going into the inner psyche, going deep, getting to the truth of the matter, our own truth of the matter, as well as, like I talked about earlier, truths coming to the surface that may have been hidden from others, right? Like, or that we're trying to hide from others, or that others were trying to hide from us. Those coming to light, whether we want them to or not, to be dealt with, so that everybody in this situation can move into a higher frequency. If they choose to. With this energy, we can be asked to take risks now that we wouldn't normally consider doing. So this is like sort of that giving us the confidence and the courage to do those things we wanted to do, but couldn't find our why, or couldn't find, again, sort of the extra oomph to talk ourselves into it, to be able to do it, right? So again, maybe the ego was coming in with stories about why we're not worthy, why we're not good enough, why we're not ready yet, that sort of thing. That's a good one that the ego likes to use, is you're not ready for this yet. Who do you think you are, type thing. And so then we refrain from stepping into whatever it is we're being asked to step into because we feel like we're not ready for it. When in actuality, typically when the opportunity comes in, it's because you are ready, right? We are ready. So this energy could also bring new people and relationships to our doorstep. Many of these people have something to offer our experience, which I would say is pretty accurate with everybody that, enters into our awareness or into our experience. These people, though, specifically can offer some form of assistance, potentially, or a missing puzzle piece that we've been searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant this month that you cross paths with. And again, this could be somebody from the past that cross paths, or that we see in a different light, or there's a new aha moment around this person, whatever. And also I go back to what I talked about earlier, which is it's also possible that someone from the past resurfaces, especially someone from, again, maybe that time frame of December 2021 to January 2022, that resurfaces, that is really surfacing now for final closure. That's very, very possible. But there's also the possibility that through that closure, or if you don't have anything to close out, that someone new or some new people come in now who can really assist you or assist us, I'm in this equation as well, in a really big way. And again, it's sort of like that missing puzzle piece, the aha moment that this person can bring, or these people can bring, that we've been sort of searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant. Be open to asking for assistance, whatever assistance you feel like you need at this time, right? If you've been hitting a roadblock, if you're struggling with something, this is going to be a beautiful month to ask for that assistance that you need, and then be open to receiving it. Also, you yourself may be unexpectedly asked for assistance by someone, right? So someone might come to you in need of something, or you hold the key for something, or you hold the missing puzzle piece for someone. And so if somebody comes to you for that assistance and you feel holistically capable of giving them that assistance, right? Body, mind, spirit, whatever, then this is a beautiful energy to do so. And a great opportunity for positive exchange of energy through that action. So the help that you give and or receive under this energy can sort of spark the feeling of hope within self and within others. So this can be just a truly incredible, beautiful energy, and you can be a big part of that. You can be a key player in that. So you are the star of the show under this 17-8 energy. So you get to decide how you want to use the warmth of that spotlight. All right, well, let's get into each individual life path number now for November. Life path number 3. So I pulled an animal spirit message for you all, and you got bull spirit. And so what's really interesting about this, and it actually correlates really beautifully with your numerology for November, but this is bringing about this call for tapping into your inner masculinity. And this has nothing to do with gender, it's an energy. So again, we all have feminine and masculine energies within. We have those polarities that we all are working with to harmonize, to merge, to find the balance of. For you all, well, I say for you all, this is a general reading, but if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But there's a call here for stepping into more of your own masculinity, objectivity, and leadership. So there's something here, 3s, where you're being asked to really take the reins, to follow that passion, to go after and take charge what it is that you want, right? Like, and be decisive about what it is that you want. Be very clear in your communication and your drive and your decisions, right? And not being afraid to go after what it is that you want, right? So not making yourself small to accommodate others, but rather recognizing what it is that you want to accomplish, your goal, whatever, and then taking the initiative to move towards that. And what I love about this is a beautiful energy throughout November collectively for this, because again, we talked about how this could be a month where if you ask for the assistance that you need, you have a it's very favored that you will receive that assistance. So don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to be very clear in that communication about what it is that you want and what it is that you need to be able to thrive. Not saying that you'll necessarily get everything that's on your wish list, but there's something here about not sort of waiting in the shadows for it to find you. This is a very ambitious energy. This is stepping into your power energy. This is using your voice and going after what you want without apology. As long as it's not, trampling over somebody else to get there. Okay, so looking at the month ahead for you all, for November, you all are working with 11-2 energy. And so again, this is very much like what inspires you, taking action on maybe working with other people, collaborating, networking, which is sort of right up your alley, right? Like that's communication, all of that stuff is right up 3's alley when they're in their higher expression. And this energy is sort of giving you the green light to really flourish with that, to again, take inspired action, to go after, your big dreams and your big goals. Take the risks that you need to take in order to do that. But there's definitely a call here throughout November for you all to go back to your why and to make sure that where you're moving from is, again, through some kind of inner inspiration. So, and then in doing so, you will be assisting others energetically and inspiring them in some way through your own inspired action, right? That's just the way it works. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy, but there is something here to pay attention to what you're saying yes to, why you're saying yes to it, and to make sure that it holds some value for you. If it doesn't hold value for you, then that is an indicator that maybe you need to start the process of figuring out how to move away from whatever that is. Because if something is not aligned with your own inner truth, your own inner value system, it's just going to be it's not going to be really sustainable over the long term without starting to feel resentment and all those things. So the 11-2 energy is asking you to take that inspired action this month. And also to take a look at your relationships and how you're showing up to those relationships. Are they relationships that still hold value for you? Are they relationships that you want to continue to have? Or are they just taking up space out of obligation? That's something to explore this month as well. Okay, for you all, it's interesting as well, because for eclipse season, or for this eclipse in November 8th, this full moon lunar eclipse, there's something that may potentially be eclipsed out. And for you all, it's working with one energy. And so there's something here about your identity, how it is that you're showing up, how you use your voice, stepping into your power, your confidence, your ambition, very masculine energy here. And so this eclipse is potentially asking you to change your mindset around something. You may see some major changes and transformations occur over the next 6 to 12 months that has to do with your identity, how you present, how others perceive you, how you want to be perceived, all of these things, how you take action, what that looks like, taking action where you might have in the past sort of laid low. This is going to sort of encourage you or reignite that spark or that fire to follow your ambitions, or to take charge, to step into some kind of leadership role. But there's also this level of independence and autonomy with this that the action is derived from your own inner truth, right? We keep coming back to that because the one energy is self, it is identity. And so there may be something over the next 6 months to a year that changes in the way that you look, in the way, again, in how you show up, in what you do, in your beliefs about self, all of these things. So this can be very empowering energy. And again, this isn't something, it's eclipse energy, so it's not something that's going to happen, in an instant. It's something that's progressive and it's part of a bigger storyline. So for you all, also getting bull energy, which again is very masculine, leadership energy, there is definitely something here for you threes about stepping into some kind of leadership role, whether that's like in a bigger collaborative effort or if that's simply with your own life, and being more decisive about who you surround yourself with and how you participate in those relationships, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the new moon that's occurring on November 23rd, this is actually 7 energy. So again, it kind of really complements this eclipse energy that you're working with. It's probably going to be asking you to, could come in a myriad of ways, but it's probably asking you to take the initiative when it comes to, because again, it's a new moon energy. So this is like new starts, new ideas, fresh new ideas, fresh new inspirations, whatever. You're working with 7 energy for this new moon. And so it's going to be something potentially around spending more time with self-care, self-reflection, getting to know your own needs, your own truth, your own desires better, and how to work with that energy and how to ask for what you need, all of those things. But there's definitely a lot here around self-care, holistic health, maybe changing the way that you do things around your health, and again, holistically. So this is a great time for trying new things, seeing somebody new, a new healer, a therapist, whatever, to help you to get into alignment and feel more holistically sound. That's very possible around this new moon as well. There's also the potential that you may see new gifts open up to you psychically, intuitively, in the more metaphysical realm. That's very possible with 7 energy. It's also possible that you may get to the truth of a matter. Something may come to light for you. 7 energy is the investigator. It is like the deep diver. It's going to get to the truth of something. And so it's very possible for you threes that you will see something come to light that maybe shocks you, maybe you weren't expecting, but the fact that it's come to light, you can now work with it, right? It's now in the open. You have what you need to, what you need to know around the situation to make this, take action, make decisions, that sort of thing. So beautiful energies for you all threes. I hope it's a beautiful November. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.